Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. It's me, Eddie G, and it's that time once again. Yes, indeed. Time for another impromptu episode of Eddie G's Comic Culture. That's right, and I'm back and in full effect as I always am. Thank you guys once again for tuning in, and welcome to the show. Once again, the show is still sponsored by the great folks over at Black Apparel, so make sure you check out their website at www.blackapparelblk.com. Special shout out to my boy, my brother, Kevin Seawright. Thank you once again for all the work that you've put in, all the contributions you've done for the show. Definitely, I appreciate the love, man, and especially to all of my friends out there who have been supporting this idea, have been watching the show. All of my friends, Randy and uh, who else? Chris. A lot of my Instagram friends, Blu-ray Dan. Uh, I got a brand new, a great friend of mine, Mark Elliott. I just met at work, who put me on to a great a great website for purchasing comic books. Um, I'm gonna get up on that later also, so I'll make sure you guys check that. So make sure you guys tune in. Stay tuned for that actually, and special shout out to my Instagram family, Blu-ray Dan. Let's see, D Knight Rider, Dennis Knight, also the writer from Pronto Comics, the writer of Cross Comics, Ray Ravello, and my boy Pablo. Make sure you guys check out. He's building up his page right now, Channel 3 Productions on Instagram. He's got a lot of great posts coming up. We're going to be working together soon. Possibly live streaming or web chat or something like that. But we're definitely going to be combined, doing a special episode for the two of us. We go way back. And everyone else, man, thank you for stopping by. Well, so today is Wednesday, August the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's the 8th. And, hell, it's been a hell of a hot week out here in Florida, man. I don't know if you guys, I guess, I don't know, I know I missed tri-state, although New York City has always been prone, New York and New Jersey have always been prone to have some pretty lethal summers due to the humidity out there. But, definitely, man, it's been a scorcher this whole week out here in Florida. It's been worse, it's been hell on earth, literally. So getting to work and work has been actually quite interesting, but that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about some interesting comic book news, a lot of movies, a lot of movie announcements. Not a lot of movie announcements. It's been actually been pretty dead as of recent, but a few blips here and there. And let's get right to it. So first and foremost, thank you guys for stopping by. Uh, Let's hop right to the first topic of discussion. James Gunn's firing from Guardians of the Galaxy. Excuse me, James Gunn's firing from Guardians of the Galaxy. I know I'm butchering this right about. I'm not feeling too great, but I wanted to have the opportunity to give this because this is a very important. This episode I really wanted to discuss some stuff. But the firing of James Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and by Disney, of course, has been creating quite a bit of a stir up in Hollywood. Actually, there's been actors vocally supportive of the director and wanting to get his job back, and it's been pretty crazy, the outpouring of support that he's been getting as of recent from these cats. Um, Especially one who's been really vocal, and one in particularly vocal actor throughout the entire ordeal, and this is the one that I was hoping he would be, you know, I was hoping he would be quite in, like, just in the middle of it, not to be, not to speak negatively or against anybody for that matter. But Dave Bautista, um, he's been pretty vocal as of recent about how he's not going to work with, he, well, let's start off with the letter of petition that the cast sent to Disney regarding to reinstate James Gunn. It was a touching letter. I didn't get to read all of it, honestly, but I saw a few bits and pieces of it, that did catch my attention. I just pretty much skimmed right through it. And I find that it was really admirable of the cast to have the support of this man. That's really a show of strength right there, of unity for people, regardless of how you feel of the subject matter. But that display right there is really something else. That it shows that a lot of people really, that it's not always black and white. You know what I'm saying? That not every situation is always black and white. And with that being said, I think it was really great to show that they had an outpouring of that he had an outpouring of support from his employees, considering the situation, considering the matter. Now, with that being said, the one who's been really vocal about the situation, as I circle back down to what I was talking about in the beginning, Dave Bautista, has been really vocal about his support about James Gunn and how he wants him back on the franchise. Now, at this point, I could understand and not understand. There's points about this that it's a sucky situation. It really is, because at the end of the day, like, James Gunn is responsible for bringing some, some great movies. The both, regardless of how you feel about Volume 2, even though I found it to be, inferior to the first one, it's still a good movie, and it still stands alone well on its own. Um, however, I would have liked to have seen what would this trilogy look like with Gunn's vision, actually coming together as a whole, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. And with that being said, we all need to be mindful at this point in time that Disney is making the decisions here regarding what's going to happen with this guy in his future. Now, is it a little wrong? Were there things? Do I feel that in certain instances that they kind of took, they kind of blew it out of proportion? Yeah, I do. I do honestly think so. Because at some point, it's a double edged sword, man. I read the subject matter. I read the tweets that he sent out, that James Gunn sent out, and honestly, I don't see funny shit behind that. You can't. I don't see. I don't condone. I don't condone or co-sign any jokes regarding that. That's just not funny. It's not funny to me. It's really, and it's kind of graphic and detail, and it's hella nasty. So for anyone to really like get a quip out of that, it's kind of like, not that I bash anybody for it, but it's a little off-putting at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's a little discomforting, not to say the least. But the fact of the matter was, they were just jokes. There's nothing to prove anything about this person. That doesn't really, he could just have a real shocking and sewer-minded mentality, I guess you could say. Dirty mind, I don't know, however you want to phrase it. But he probably likes a lot of extreme shock value jokes. And it seems that that's what I got from those tweets. Now, a lot of times people like, a lot of people like some senseless, tasteless shit, because it is what it is, you know. But that doesn't really dictate a person as to who they are as far as their futures, as far as like, does this action say, oh, well, he's going to be a rotten apple a few years from now? No, it doesn't real. I don't believe in that I don't believe in that wholeheartedly at all. So it's a possibility that the person can change. However, will the world be around, and will the world be around to accept him or her? Then at that point, it's just, what I'm saying. Like, I can't go too deep into it because I don't want to, it's I don't want to stress the fact out of this. My main concern, the point about that I was really trying to dive into, was Batista's outspoken remarks regarding the situation. And I like Batista. I really do. I've been following him for a long time. I followed him ever since wrestling, when a lot of people hated him as a wrestler because they felt like he was just too boring, he was too dry. I always showed that, like, no, man, this guy had like some sort of, there was an aura, there was a charisma about this person that it just needs the right, it needs the right team behind it to bring it out. He needs the right artists around him to actually flourish in that way. So, and he actually has. If you've seen his work, I saw he in the beginning, after he left the WWE, I saw that he was making a lot of direct-to-DVD movies, a lot of a lot of B-rated features, and his acting was pretty horrible at that point. It was just past the point of amateur, but he stuck to his guns and he kept going, he kept pushing forward, and he got the role of a lifetime. And I've really seen how he's actually grown as an actor. He's done a lot of features, and that's cool stuff. But when I saw him in Blade Runner last year, I thought to myself, like, man, this guy, if he keeps it up, he's gonna be like he could be a feature, like he could be a headliner. This guy's got the chops, because it's not like it's not like he's half stepping his shit. He's really bringing it to the, he's bringing his A game. And that's one thing that I really can tell, and I can tell the difference between Dwayne Johnson and him. Because Dwayne Johnson is a big action vehicle. He's always gonna make money off of these big action films, disaster movies, things of that nature, big budget, these big budget movies that are these popcorn flicks, basically. Whereas we're never really going to see him get to flex his acting chops now and then. Maybe, like, I haven't seen that movie, but Snitch, I've heard was a lot of good things about him bringing, his A game to the table. But that was just a one-time thing, and Snitch was actually quite a bit now, a couple of years back. So with that being said, we haven't really seen Dwayne Johnson return to that. While I see Batista's career flourishing because of how serious he was, and in that little segment, plus the snippets of film, the mini films for Blade Runner 2049 that Dennis Villeneuve was releasing online, like, I really started to notice. I was like, man, he's taking this seriously, and he's not messing around. And that's the type of stuff that I really appreciated. Man, he really came up and when he left the WWE, he really left the WWE for a reason, and it wasn't for BS. So, seeing how outspoken he is regarding the situation now, it really it makes me worried, because I don't want to, you see how cutthroat Disney was with James Gunn. And mind you, the man delivered almost $2 billion movies to them, and they cut him off like nothing. Granted, Disney could have definitely gone about this another way. I believe that, but what the decision is done, the choices are made. It's the decision has been made, and they are a family company. They are a family-oriented company. They're not going to have that. They're not going to have that image of theirs tarnished or cracked or anything from with anything associated regarding bigotry or hatred or any of these or what's been going on as of recent in Hollywood. The recent uncovering of all these sex crimes that have been going on in Hollywood. Like, they don't want none of that associated to their brand, and I understand that completely, because this is business. You don't play around with that, and especially if you're a major money maker like Disney is. You're not going to take any shorts or losses with that. And whatever losses they are going to take, you can believe that they're going to make it as minuscule as possible. So if they can minimize it, and if they can minimize whatever damage, if it means cutting out a vital character from the story, they'll do it. They'll do it. And those are that's a pair of cojones that you really don't want to mess with, because those are the guys who sign your check. Now, granted, it's not like he's the main character of those movies, but he is a vital character. So I don't want to see a replacement actor coming down when it comes down time to start filming Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Because he also made the comment about, he made the threatening comment that if Disney doesn't use James Gunn's script, he's going to ask to be released from the contract. That's another thing you don't do. You don't attempt to fight those bosses, man. This isn't Vince McMahon. You're fighting an entirely different machine. This is an entirely different machine. Even though one can say wrestling and acting go hand in hand, bruh, this industry, this is a major industry. The film industry is a major industry. You don't want to step on the wrong toes and get bounced out of a job, or potential career for that matter. So with that being said, I really hope that he tones it down and makes himself stop and breathe before he actually starts going online and making these public announcements, these statements that these websites are eating up and chomping at the bit. Because I'm telling you, it's gonna, this kind of shit gets around. It's gonna get around immediately. So regardless of how I feel about how Disney handles the situation with James Gunn, that's none of my business. My main concern, though, I do like Bautista. I do like Bautista as an actor, and his character as Drax, even though it's majorly different from what the comic books are, I still appreciate it and didn't take him for granted. So I hope that I hope he takes this moment to reflect on himself and breathe in before he starts making these announcements again. That's all. So with that being said, here's to hoping that they collect this situation up, because it is. A lot of people. CBM.com has been lit with these comments on the threads, and they have been the apt description that they've been using about this entire situation. It's a shit show. So hopefully they get that figured out immediately. So with that being said, oh, some other casting news this week. Apparently, Ruby Rose yesterday was announced as Batwoman. She'll be joining the CW Arrowverse. This is a very confusing move to me, and honestly, because I haven't been watching Arrow or Flash as of recent. In particularly, so I haven't really been too keen on the directions that they both have been going. They've been really taking this soap opera angle of theirs and have been They have exhausted that. To me, it's past that point already. Like, this isn't Days of Our Lives or General Hospital, so there's no reason why these shows should have similarities to them. I understand that they're trying to make it a little bit more dramatic to appeal to a broader audience, but at the end of the day, have some decorum and integrity in your product. You don't have to saturate. You don't have to saturate the hell out of that. With that sappy, uninspired love story, because that's what that's what a lot of these that's what a lot of the shows have really delved off to, is a lot of uninspired love stories. Why is Olicity still a thing? Why? Can anyone tell me why Olicity is still happening almost 7 seasons into Arrow already, and yet no mention whatsoever of a possible union with the Green Arrow and the Black Canary? Like, seriously, I understand certain liberties are going to be taken with these shows, with these adaptation shows and films, but respect the source material, for the love of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something that honors the books, that honors the story, that honors the characters. Stay true to the storylines. They've veered so far left that I can't even, like, I don't even have the interest to even, like, like, there were times, like, if I had DVR, when I was finding myself DVRing, like, through so many parts of the show. Like, I would I would record the shows on DVD, then I would, like, skip past all of this crap, this soap opera shit that they would always do every episode, and they started becoming more and more common. So I was like, man, I can't do it anymore. So at this point, I'm hoping that this fresh angle with Batwoman presents, like, a whole different story. And on another note, are they actually going to start mentioning it? Does Gotham City even exist? Is Gotham City, you know what I'm saying? Because there's been so many discrepancies. Warner Brothers has screwed this up so bad. They've screwed it up so fucking bad, because they didn't want Batman and they didn't want Superman to show up in the shows, or Wonder Woman to be acknowledged, because they wanted to use them for the movies. However, they ended up brushing all of that shit to the side and made mentions of Blackgate Prison. And these are, mind you, this is the television universe, and the Arrowverse, excuse me. They've mentioned Blackgate Prison. They've mentioned the Superman has already appeared in Supergirl. So they're, like, breaking their own little rules and standards here and there. And then, like, Manu Bennett, who's been on again, off again as Deathstroke, the Terminator on Green Arrow, like, it doesn't make sense anymore. So Warner Brothers are completely at fault with that. They really are. I don't know how they're gonna, at this point right about now, I'm hoping they fix this shit up, because in all honesty, the one thing that I've actually finally gotten out of this year's San Diego Comic-Con was that DC was finally convincing Warner Brothers, yo, we gotta clean this shit house up, big time. We're not being taken seriously anymore, and the fans are not responding well to the material that you guys are wanting to provide out there, to put out there. So with that being said, since the New 52 ended and Rebirth has completely revitalized DC's energy, it seems like it's going down the right path now. And with the view of Shazam and what do you call it, Aquaman, and the lineup that they got coming up pretty soon, it's just been really the animated features. That's what I was meant to discuss. It looks like the death of Superman is actually the bounce back of actually good DC animated features again, because we've been in dire need for that for quite some time since Justice League War. A lot of the New 52 features outside of Throne of Atlantis and Justice League Dark have been really, really bad as far as, like, dialogue, production, quality. I'm looking, I'll call bullshit on production, because the animation has been pretty good, but for the most part, it's just not what they were. It's not what it used to be. It doesn't have that same magic or spirit anymore. It's gone. It looks like now, finally, with Death of Superman, they're revitalizing that front again, because they have a strong fan base for their animated features. DC has always had a strong fan base for their animated features. So to turn them away would be completely asinine on their part, and it looks like they're catching on to that. So with that being said, I'm freaking ecstatic over the fact that they've officially announced and officially released posters, even though they're not that great. But the excitement is real now for me, because I cannot wait to see Hush, because it took them long enough to adapt Hush into an animated feature. That's like the number, I don't know what the hell that was about, but I am excited for Hush. Let's see, and let me look into the list right about now, because I just saw that they had that going on. It's Wonder Woman Bloodlines, another one that's another Wonder Woman animated feature, which has been desperately needed for a long time as well. A solo feature is coming up pretty soon too. The Reign of the Supermen, which is actually going to be the first one right out the gate in January of 2019, and Justice League Fatal 5. So it looks like it's actually going back to track again, and that's really, really good. I'm excited for that. I'm extraordinarily excited about that. Now, at this point, what I'm looking for is more announcements on Superman, because at this point, even though they made the they put out a public statement saying that they understand how important Superman really is, and but if that's the case, why is it taking so long to have a proper follow up for Man of Steel? And it's an even bigger. And you know what disgusted me even worse this week was they had the audacity to make an announcement that they were working on a Supergirl film. Okay, that's nice. I could appreciate that. But where the hell is Man of Steel? Why is there always a drought of Superman movies coming up? It's always been the curse with Superman, and that's one of the main things that piss me off. That when it comes to getting a decent Superman film off the ground, Warner Brothers just loves sitting on its ass, and I'm so tired of that shit. I am so tired of that shit, because if the MCU can make successful and critically and all around generally loved films surrounding based on Captain America, who is the ultimate Boy Scout, they can do the same thing. Warner Brothers has absolutely no. They have nothing. They got nothing. They don't even have a leg to stand on for that. That's not an excuse anymore. You have no excuse, because if they can make it work with Captain America, they can make it work with Superman. So, sitting on their butts all that, doing nothing about it really just turns me off. Okay, granted the fact that Supergirl is a staple in the universe, and I would love to see I'd love to see another female another heroine, I guess you could say. I don't feel that it's right for them to just do that without properly sending off Superman with at least one more movie. At least one more movie. He's the flagship character. He's always been that. The only reason it's changed is because they were whoring out Batman more and more since '86. That's about it. And then they completely let Superman fall by the wayside. So that sucks balls. And I'm really I'm not a fan of the idea that they're doing that. And I'm really not a fan of the idea that they're moving forward with Harley Quinn the way they're doing on films like that. Like now Harley Quinn is going to be the next big thing that they're going to take it. No, I don't. They got to really get their shit together as far as prioritizing their roster of characters. They really do. Warner Brothers has never ever been on point with that. They have always missed the mark on that. I'm hoping that they can fix it up in the next coming years or so, but at this point we got to play the wait and see game, and it's not our fault. It's their fault for churning out crap. Nobody told them to choose such a divisive and yet not that great to work with director like Zack Snyder, who I have major issues with. And I know a lot of his rabid cultist fans will disagree and want to tear my head off, and that's fine. I understand that. But there's no. I've literally read every argument that these fans of his love, and it really, I don't even take him seriously anymore. I really don't. They try to, they begin these diatribes with by trying to appeal to the intellectual crowd, I guess you could say, the top tier, by saying that this is all artistic and all this other shit that really doesn't pertain to it really doesn't pertain to the movie, because it doesn't, it completely, they're describing someone who's really not who he is. Zack Snyder, an artist, I don't see that at all. I don't see that shit at all. He's a visual storyteller. He knows how to put he knows how to make some bomb ass panels out of live action features, but that's about it. The man couldn't draw an emotional scene from nothing. He could have the best of the best that the Academy has to offer, and he still wouldn't know what to do with all that talent in the room. It's been proven before. So it's obvious that this guy's pretty terrible as a filmmaker, and they left this universe in the shambles that it's in right now. Hopefully, the course correction has done some great changes. I like what I'm seeing so far, especially Wonder Woman 1984. It's looking really good. I love the feel of it. The energy of the next three movies that DC has, man, coming up is looking great, and they need to keep that going. They need to keep that flow going, rather than just push it back. So with that being said, I appreciate the fact that Warner Brothers is finally looking like they're taking the time out to listen to their fans and pay attention. But that being said, moving forward, it looks like Bloodshot is moving forward in the cinematic universe. I'm not too sure. I haven't read any issues on Bloodshot. If I have, it was more than over 20 years ago, so I can't say I remember it. Um, but in all honesty, it's really, I'm meh about it. If it looks great, I might check out the material, but for the most part, I'm not really excited about a Valiant property going on. Uh, a Valiant property getting, like, the silver screen treatment. But it's cool to have some sort of variety going on. And oh yes, Spider-Man for the PS4 seems to be coming out less than a month from now. Well, actually 29 days, considering it arrives on September 7th, and today's the 8th of August. But but it looks like a fantastic game. I don't know if you guys have your pre-orders yet. I haven't been able to get a pre-order, but it's not that real. Where I live, it isn't really a pre-order type of or a pre-order town. Um, there are places that do get sold out of certain things, of course, but it's not really like that. So with that being said, I'm looking so forward to this game, um, and in perfect timing too, because that Venom trailer looks great. I love the. A lot of people are indifferent on the new Venom trailer. I'm not. I find it to be actually really good. The only thing that's missing is the spider symbol in the middle of his chest, but that's about it. That's a minor complaint, if that, well enough for me to say it's a complaint at all. But I think it's actually pretty. I think it looks pretty cool for what it's worth. You know, it looks like it's carrying on. It looks like it's taking the actual the comic book character itself, and staying true to the source material. Um, Tom Hardy looks, like he's gonna smash the role. The guy's a phenomenal actor. He can do whatever. He pretty much can do no wrong at this point. And it just looks like it's really gonna rock ass. It's gonna be like an anti-hero slash horror film, which looks great. Um, Now, with that being said, Spider-Man: Far From Home seems to have gone into production already, which is good. Uh, However, I wish it didn't go so fast, because we just had a Spider-Man film. Not we just had we just had Spider-Man: Homecoming last year, and I know we lost him in Infinity War, but he'll be back. So I think that should be enough for I think we're really, like, we're getting Spider-Man's movies are starting to get to a point where he's got more movies than Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. Like it's getting crazy right now. The guy's got like 13 movies, spanning across like three different between three different reboots. Like it's crazy, but and I'm exaggerating the number, of course, but I'm just using it as a general expression. It's just I think it's a little nuts, but it looks like it's taking place in Paris, which is I guess it's all right, for what it's worth. But hopefully that's not the majority of the film. I would love to see. I would love. Spider-Man to me isn't Spider-Man if it's not in New York City, bro. If it ain't going from Queens to Manhattan, you're not really dealing with Spider-Man. That's probably just an Elseworld storyline of some sort, or an Ultimate storyline of sorts. It's not the real Spider-Man. That's just how I feel, guys. I'm sorry. I'm Peter Parker fan for life. The only one who I really really was cool on like that is really Miles Morales. And mind you, his Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is gonna be. I'm sorry, guys. This heat just drains me so much. It's been like 90 degree. It's been like 90+ degrees the last couple of days out here. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse looks phenomenal. I can't wait to see that. It looks great. It looks like an actual good. It looks like an actual animated film worth being excited for, watching in the first place. So with that being said, jumping on to the next topic, I wanted to talk to you guys about a special deal. A special website a friend put me on from work, and as you guys know, I've made mentions before. I do live in Florida. I do live in a very rural part of Florida. It's not that big of a town at all, so it's been very difficult for me to try to get a decent comic book shop for me to get some reviews going. Finally, a good friend of mine had posted up he told me about a website called mycomicshop.com. I just ordered a few issues over the weekend, and the first 3 issues that I got came in today. It's an independent publishing because I love independent books also, called Stabity Bunny. And the guy who told me about it, my friend, he's actually knows the creator of the series. So, these are the books that came in today, guys. Now, I don't have them in numerical order. I'm sorry. So I unfortunately couldn't get the first issue. It was out of stock online on the website. So I ended up getting issues 2, 3, and 4. They're about maybe 10 issues deep. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly. But these are beautiful covers. Look at this. Look at this. This is just not like Alice in Wonderland. It gives me that Alice in Wonderland creepy Tim Burton vibe. It's creature features. That is, look at that. Amazing artwork right there. Look at that cover. These covers are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, I haven't read the issues yet. I will be reading them tonight, and even though I know you guys are saying, why is he going to read the issue starting number 2? I haven't read a good brand new comic in such a long time, guys, that I needed to start this. I've been fiending. And I plan on doing some great reviews. I'm going to be adding more reviews. Now I'm going to be really adding reviews on these books on the show as well, because I want you guys to know I want to have some good input out there for guys as well. I want to share my opinion along with the millions of others out there, because I know it can be a little difficult time and time again to find a good comic book to pick up, a good title to pick up, and these are basically something I just I want to have. I'm going to be adding this is going to be a great segment of the show. I want to have this. That's going to open up the forum even more for conversation with guys, with anyone who loves comic books. And you see the conditions that they're in. It's not bad at all. No creases, nothing, and it came in the bags with the backboard. So I am going to be utilizing this website more often than not. I've already ordered Superman, the Brian Michael Bendis book, the first issue, and I've ordered the first 2 issues of Superman versus Shazam. Written by Judd Winnick. He was a cast member of the Real World, if I'm not mistaken, maybe season 3 or 4. He was there a long time ago, over 20 years ago. But yeah, it was a great storyline. I think it was actually inspired. I think it actually inspired the Superman versus Shazam short, which was awesome. By the way, if you guys haven't seen it, make sure you guys check it out. It's not a long movie, but you know it's definitely worth watching. And I've ordered a few. I was actually one thing that got me stoked about this website was because it has a lot. I love back. I need to get my back issues. I've been dying to find a good place to get back issues, and especially older back issues, much older back issues. And with that being said, this shop actually has quite a bit of that selection. And very soon, actually next week, I will be ordering I will be ordering Batman and Detective Comics issues from 1989. It's written by Alan Burnett, and of course my late brother's favorite Batman illustrator, his artist, Norm Brayfogle. Um, these are nostalgic stories too. These issues as I watched them, and mind you, I was browsing through the covers, and I could not tell you guys the nostalgia I was feeling going through the covers as I was scrolling up and down. I was like, holy shit! I have not seen this in over 25 years. You understand me? Going on 30 almost. You know, and I remember being a kid looking at these covers like, man, this is awesome. And this was all at the time of the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. So it was a real pivotal moment. These books are really pivotal for me as far as my, my upbringing is concerned. And I will be ordering quite a bit of those next week, honestly. But it is an awesome website, guys. Literally check it out, and it does carry independent publishers as well. So you will not be limited to the big three, the big two, and the others as well. The big names of Dark Horse. Like you're not gonna be subjected to you're not relegated to just Marvel, DC, Image, or Dark Horse or Valiant even. It's more than that. It's a lot more than that, and that's awesome. That is amazing, and there's a shipping charge, of course. I believe it's like $5 or $6 if you want for standard shipping, and like eight or nine for express. I would only do the 8 or 9 if I really needed it. If I really needed that issue like that, though, like if it was like if it was a must, like I would do that. I would spend the money on that. But other than that, I'm fine with just the regular shipping prices. But guys, definitely check out that website. It's worth everything that you need to know. It's worth everything. And if you're on Facebook as well, I want you guys to, if you're an avid comic book reader, make sure you check out this group that my friend, the exact same friend, who put me on to mycomicshop.com. It's called the Comic Book Collectors Forum. That's a page on Facebook. They've got great content. Guys are always selling. You're always gonna find some awesome content being sold on there. You guys will. It's there was a few times that I've been mind blown with the stuff that they've posted, and it's amazing. Like I said, it's an awesome page. Everyone gets along with everyone. There's zero tolerance. There is zero tolerance for nonsense. So don't bring any drama to that. If you're all about that, don't even bother, because they'll clip you right out immediately. But definitely, if you want something to converse with, if you're looking for other collectors to meet up with, or to converse with, or just talk, set up friendships, whatever, anything to get a conversation going about these books, man, definitely check out their page. They're definitely worthwhile to join. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you guys once again for tuning in to the show. I appreciate all the love, and if you have any questions or comments or any opinions, anything regarding all the stuff I touched on today, leave me a comment in the comment section. Let's get the conversations going. I will be having my reviews up by the end of the week for Stabbity Bunny, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I'll be keeping up the video updates for that, and I hope you guys end up having a great week. Peace and love. Catch you guys on the flip side. Take care of yourself.